Hey, what's happening, man? Give me 1 sec here, y'all. 1 second, please. Okay. What's happening with it, man? I wanted to jump on here and give some insight and talk about a couple things that I've been seeing and really give a little bit of insight into some stuff that's been going on. Big shout out to everybody who commented on the last video that I did. I thought I was going to get a different reaction on it because I called the person's employer, but apparently, man, the video went really good, and a lot of people are thinking the same way that I do on the situation. So I appreciate that, and I just wanted to say that. And what I'm talking about is the video pertaining to Charlie Kirk and some nut job that was rejoicing on his death. And I only bring that name up, that video up, and that topic up because, well, in comments, give me a second. Let me just get through my train of thought here. But I only bring that up because today the TBI announced that they no longer are taking any tips and they're passing it to Hawkins County. Well, duh. What took them so long? I mean, and here's a couple interesting facts that we finally have, right? What took them people so long? They were only begging. They were only begging for the nonsense that spurs off YouTube to stop. I mean, if you don't know that you can go to my short section and literally find a spokeswoman for the TBI, that blonde lady. She's a good-looking lady. You can tell she really cares about Summer, but she's begged for these nonsense tips to stop for a long time. And do you think they have? But I tell you that with another interesting fact. And here's why I bring up the Charlie thing. As I was watching and glued into this Charlie Kirk situation, the FBI was in charge of the Charlie Kirk thing. And before they caught the killer, the night before actually, when they released the footage of the guy jumping off the roof with the rifle, he lands on the grass, and they say they got a handprint on the roof, that they got a footprint on the grass, and they sent it off to the forensics. When they announced that, they thanked the media and the public because they got this is the FBI saying they got 7,000 plus tips digitally from the public, which was the second most tips they've ever had since the Boston Marathon. Now, that is the FBI spokesman's direct words in regards to that situation. Now, I say that because 7,000 tips digitally. How many tips can we honestly think came out from... Now, the TBI had a tip line for Summer, and they were begging people, stop with the fake shit, stop. But if Charlie Kirk, somebody who's, I mean, just turn on your feed on YouTube, you can't not see it, right? I don't want to compare the two because neither one has more importance, but if you can see like the difference, and if you get a tight, if it's one little time where you get a little bit of insight on amount of tips an agency is getting on one subject, and you can only imagine that's the FBI. The TBI is not above the FBI, right? They're below it. So we have to understand how many tips really have came in for Summer with the TBI. I am one to believe that if the FBI is throwing stats like that around, I don't believe the TBI got a lot of tips that we all think they have gotten. I am one to believe that I thought Summer's case would have way more than 7,000 tips in it. Apparently not. Because 7,000 digital tips is second place from all digital tips, and that's the FBI, not the TBI. The TBI is below them, much smaller scale. So now, taken to a granted, all the fraudulent tips that TBI has got, because of the bullshit on YouTube. That should blow anybody's mind. Now, I'm not here to protect Don and Candace. I'm not here to, what are the things that are said? I'm getting paid. All these ridiculous theories. You have open conversation of, I can't tell you how you feel about a case. What would I look like telling you how you feel? Because the way that you feel is the way that you feel. So I'm opening this with facts. But I'm looking all around on YouTube today, and I'm gonna try my best on this live to keep it factual. I'm gonna try my best on this live to not bash anybody. And let's be honest, that's what I'm good at. I like to do that. I enjoy to bring you guys laughs, because we can recognize when there's idiots saying certain narratives, or they're saying stupid things on the internet. But I got news for you. I'm here to clown anybody who says stupid things on the internet. Anybody, friend, foe, whatever you are. Now, I'm looking around YouTube, and it's the normal people saying the dumbest things. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to break my own rule. I'm gonna try to break it less than 3 times. Ryan finds truth is number 1. That interview that he did, people, shenanigans. Complete shenanigans. Confirmed shenanigans. Been known this, and before reached out to confirm it, by listening to it, I knew it was bullshit, because I've actually been in that house, and I could listen to the words, and I know I was listening to it with Noel, and I'm like, this is bullshit. There's way too many, like, it's all bullshit. And really fast, while I'm on him, and I don't want to bash anybody, but I have to take this opportunity while I'm on this guy. If you guys can recall, I gave this guy a shot. Here comes somebody, a brand new guy. I'm like, listen, let's give him a shot. I made a video, let's give him a shot. And he's been just like this guy got a boner. Remember when he caught a boner when he ran into Dolly? Like, the guy legit got a boner. He was like that, like his favorite YouTuber was like that important to him. And it showed me right then and there everything I need to know about that guy. Like, you got a boner because you're meeting Dolly. And that's when he was with Andy. Andy is somebody also we'll talk about. Number 2, breaking my rule. Number 2, leaving me room on this live to only do one more mistake. Andy is somebody that I'm breaking it now, because later in the live, we'll get back to him. But let me take a comments real fast. What's up, Carol? What's up, Chai? I just want to react to some of the stuff I'm seeing. It's common sense why the TBI is fed up. I'm not even mad at that. I'm surprised they haven't done it sooner. And anybody who disagrees with that, they've publicly said, please stop sending anything but credible tips to our hotline. Specifically, the shenanigans are coming from YouTube and Facebook. The blonde lady, I forget her name, very attractive woman. Go to my short section. If you are somebody watching this live right now and you do not know that she said this, get out, exit left. Get out, exit left. I need the people who've been paying attention in this live. So please, with all due respect, exit left. But I'm watching all these people, and again, I'm not going to bash anybody. I'm watching all these people, and I'm just laughing to myself. So why do I bash people? Well, listen, man. First and foremost, when it comes to Summer Wells case, I don't take in any information from people who have scammed in the names, in the girl's name. If they have pulled any bit of a scam, they're completely useless to me. Like, why would I listen to anything that person says? It's just wild to me. Every now and then people send me like these links to these, and there's certain people where they send me stuff, I'll always check it out. But other people will send me stuff and I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with this? Like I'm not giving that a view. like, you know, and I think people, I don't know what people do and how they watch things, but it's just interesting to me. So what I'm just giving you my like rule of viewing. If they have ever been, and I'm not going to bash anybody, but there's a lot of people who fall into this category. If they have ever scammed the Summer Wells case, exit left. It's just that simple for me. And I can keep that like same concept and rule for every case, right? If they've ever scammed a missing child case, their family, whatever, exit left. It's a no-go for me, right? There's no like second chances. Like, what the fuck? How dumb is that? But what I've been seeing is these people get all bonered up about recent things. And maybe I have played a part into that. I don't know. Because the fact of the matter is, Candace is acting strange. I did a live. Sure, I could have sat on it and not said nothing, but I'm going to tell the truth. And she is acting weird. She's acting weird. And it's not that, how do I say this? I say this like this. It's not that I'm mad at Candace. I don't control her. She's a grown woman. She can do whatever she wants to do. Sure, people are going to say, let her talk. Let her talk. What else is she going to say that she hasn't said or answered a billion times? I've always stood on that. And in my view, my view has never changed. Every person, creator, I'm not here to bash anybody. Every creator, every person that covers Summer Wells, they all have a conspiracy theory, right? The blue couch, for me, was really retarded. It was really retarded. I talked to all types of people on the phone. I talk to all types of people who are interested in the Summer Wells case. My wife talks to a lot of people. And you may have been one of those people on the phone, and you may have heard me say, as you're talking to my wife on speaker, you may have heard me in the background say, well, what do you think happened? The part, what you don't see, is me roll my eyes when you say your theory. You're talking to my wife, and this is probably pertains to like 50 of you. You're talking to my wife, you hear me, or I come into the conversation at some point, and I'm like, so what do you think happened? And then you begin to tell me a ridiculous conspiracy theory. And that's probably where I start and end speaking to you. I probably walk away or say, oh, really? Okay, that's cool. I'm not going to be a dick about it, but it's because what you're saying is just, it's ridiculous. Like, it's if you know the law and understand the data, it's all ridiculous. And I say the blue couch theory because it's retarded. It's retarded if you understand that they have their data. It's all retarded. The phone's getting thrown in the water. Retarded. If the feds have this phone right now, and I throw it in the water, it's retarded. They can get all the information off the phone, whether it's 20 feet in the water or in the shallow end. It's just retarded. Everything. Oh, they sold the daughter for drugs. Retarded. That's completely retarded, because that's so super retarded, because that is if you are somebody who says, oh, he's saying the R word, retarded. No, I am an 80s baby. That's what we grew up doing. If retarded hurts your feelings, exit left. But if that is so super retarded that inquires money, a transaction, which is even more. But if you don't get the whole digital data part, I'm not here to argue or debate you, right? Not at all. I think that Summer Wells case is important because there's a lot of missing kids directly in the state of Tennessee who go missing. The governor and the head of the TBI, also, here's some more facts for you, have also said that, I can't say the gang name. You'll know who I'm talking about. Trenday, whatever the hell that gang name is. You know who they are. They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs, and they're eating the Tren de Agua, whatever. their whole organization focuses on and specialized in human trafficking. That's what they do. The days of selling dope for these criminal organizations are over with. Why would you risk nickel and diamond on the block? There's too much snitching involved in that. Go snatch up a kid. Way more money. I mean, when the head of the FBI and TBI and your own governor is saying these things, I'm all for a conspiracy, right? I'm all for one, right? But you have to present it where it makes sense to me, right? So there is no I'm running deflection or I'm running cleanup or I'm getting paid. Who's paying me? Who's paying me? Let's just explore that. Who's paying me? I've heard that Don makes $100,000 a year, and he can work all. No, this is on. Don just got a job. He's been without work for months. He's very happy that ICE is in Tennessee, where they were. If you guys have been paying attention, ICE went and they did that Home Depot thing that was in Tennessee. He's not had a job. He's lost one because illegals, before, look, he's just lost it. If you are one that thinks that what I'm saying right now is some sort of prejudice or racist, exit left. I am one that thinks if we're going to call me racist, why don't the black people in my country have jobs before illegal immigrants? If that hurts your feelings, exit left. It's just as simple. But that's just the truth of what their financial thing is. But I'm not playing cleanup. I'm playing common sense. And I understand that by Candace and me having a little bit of a fallout, people are going to get all bonered up about. I get that. But that's what I want to talk about. This is something that is not new. The point of this live is nothing has changed in the Summer Wells case. TBI, in my opinion, has just said, fuck this tip line. It's doing no good. Y'all deal with it. I mean, I don't remember Hawkins County ever coming out and saying what TBI has about fraudulent tips, but I can recall the TBI doing it 2 or maybe 3 times separately. But because I'm having a thing with Candace, I don't want there to be I want my view to be clear. And I want people to start using common sense. That's why I'm coming out with facts, and that's why I'm saying exit left if you can't agree with these simple facts. But this is the deal. Don and Candace got into a fight, right? That is it. Every time Candace, I'm watching these people on YouTube make something like it's more than what it is. And the fact of the matter is, Candace and Don got into a fight. If you really want some inside information, she left because Don was drinking. Okay, there you go. But I just don't understand why she would be on Daisy's wasted drunk if that's why you left for. Did he put hands on her? I don't know. It's none of my business. But I know that that was one of the reasons she left. It's amazing that we only hear from Candace Wells when she's mad at Don. And normally you would never hear me say anything negative about Candace, because I try to tell people to stick to the facts in the case. I try to tell people to look at the understand how the law works if they have your data. Like, and there's so many people who follow this case that don't get that. They're just like retarded. There's no other words, but it's not my fault if you're retarded. But we only hear from Candace when, and again, I don't care. Let me say this first. I don't want to come off like a dick. I could care less if you think Don and Candace did something this summer or if you don't. Who am I? I'm not the arbiter of truth. I could care less if that's your opinion. Like that's not what I'm about. I just, if you don't use common sense and you bash people with no evidence, then I have a problem with that, right? But we only hear from Candace when she's mad at Don. Why? Why is that? Why? It's silly. And what is Candace really saying? She's saying a bunch of nothing. She's saying a bunch of nothing. So, yeah, there's been a thing with us, right? I'm not upset that Candace is going in other people's chats. Like, it's silly to me. Like, it only makes her look retarded. It only makes her look retarded, not me. The internet already knows, right, where I've been and how I've been to them. So it only makes her look silly, right? I say that with a grain of salt because I just want to give you guys truth. The other night, I went live about Candace. She's in my chat. She may be in here now. I don't know. I haven't read anybody's comments, so I don't know. But she's in my chat, and she's apologizing. And she calls Noel when I'm live and apologizes. But what she does is, instead of owning it, you blame Don. You cannot blame Don for things that you said. That would make you retarded. That would make you retarded. Remember, the beginning of the live is, don't care if you're my friends or not. If you say silly things on the internet, I'm going to clown you. That would make you retarded. And then if you directly block my wife for things that you said, that's even more retarded. Now, I say that not out of that I'm mad. There's things that you guys don't know. And this is where Candace is really going to fumble. The internet knows I've been good to them and supported them. And anybody on my channel knows this is pretty much the stance that I've always had. But this is for the naysayers and the nosies and the bush people. And well, actually, y'all don't even know this. But it's wild that Candace gets so mad at Don that she shits on people who are good to her, right? Not only people that are good to her, like their son. Any OGs of this channel knows me and Noel have been trying to adopt somebody for a long time, right? Did y'all know that we tried to adopt Josie? Do y'all know that? These weirdos won't FOIA that. Noel, would you like to expand on that? Would you like to expand on that yourself? Yeah, we tried to, but it didn't go through. I don't want to expand on the reason why it didn't go through. I'll tell you that it wasn't on our end. But it's not just that. There is a massive lawsuit in the state of Tennessee and revolving CPS. And we directly know somebody involved in Washington, D.C. that is out there, boots on the ground, advocating for change in the CPS. There's a massive class action lawsuit. You guys actually know who that person is. I've had them on my panel before. Well, not the person, not the actual person who's responsible, but somebody who's directly involved with them. We introduced, and they took the Wells. We had a big part in that, right? That indirectly, there's only so much I can say. There's only so much I can say, right? because it's ongoing. So I won't say that, but it's wild, right? Just those two things, and I'm leaving a lot out. But just so you guys know that there's nothing going on. Just if you go back to common sense, this is what Candace Wells does. She's mad at Don, right? So it's weird, like, let's drop into this chat and let's drop into this chat. It makes herself look retarded. But it's also that in this situation, I just want you to know a little bit of the extent of how ridiculous it is. She's that mad at Don that she blocked Noel. Just think about what I just said in the last 2 minutes. That's how mad she is at Don, right? And this isn't like a new thing. She's been this mad at Don before. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to watch. And again, I'm not bashing anybody. I said Ryan finds truth. I said Andy, and it gives me one more person to bash, and then I'm done, right? And I didn't even bash Andy yet, and I won't bash Andy. And here's the Andy part. The internet is wild. There's not enough free thinkers. There's not enough people who put things together themselves. I don't listen to people who have scammed anything to do with Summer Wells. There's been so many scams. Some people will tune in to somebody who didn't know a human bone from a dog bone and take in information. Like, what in God's name would I look like? It's wild. But the misinformation campaign and the lack of common sense, the hate bonding, it does work. It does work. Here's the Andy part. You have people advocating for polygraph tests because they want to give it to the TBI. Like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. TBI is no longer taking tips. Do you think they're going to take your collective polygraph tests that aren't even usable in court? This is the extent of morons that you're dealing with, and you wonder why they're not taking tips anymore. Coming from that same person has literally called TBI live like 90 times. I'm not going to bash though. But with Andy, there's the whole question of the dude. You're going to see him go to and from that day. It's common sense. I've met Andy. I've been in the truck with Don in Tennessee. When you're going down those roads, it's not like a city you're from. You don't see a lot of traffic and shit. But I remember this car coming our way. And Don's like, oh, that's Andy. I'm like, who? And he's like, it's Andy. So we pull over. Andy pulls over. Talk to him, meet him, everything's cool. Andy's perfectly... This is not on camera. There's nothing weird with Andy. He's normal, right? I come home and everything from that time. I come home and I forget what was going on. There was something going on where all the weirdos are making these videos. And what people say, Andy is such a pussy, he takes it in. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'll share something with you. The other day, well, no, I can't say the other day. A few weeks ago, Andy needed some help or whatever, right? With something, right? Picture you calling your neighbor up for some help with a car, do you have this tool, whatever it is. Andy is such a pussy that when help was to be given to him, he says, no, don't come over. I don't want people to think this or that. Like, that is wild to me. I saw the dude in my presence pull over, talk, right? But it's wild to me, right? Like it's a 360. I've apologized to the guy Andy because he's came in my chat one time and I called him a pussy to his face because he would come into the chat and he was all friendly, and then I would see him cower down. And this all revolves, everything I'm saying right now, it revolves around a conversation I had with Chris Proudfoot. And he said one of the most spot on things I think I've ever heard, right? There was a conversation I had with him about that missing girl, Jean Benet Ramsey. And the conversation was like, sometimes I think the authorities let it go, like in the Jean Benet Ramsey case. And if you understand what happened there, it makes a lot of sense, because that's exactly what you see happening on YouTube, in my opinion. And if you don't know what happened in that case, the authorities did let a lot of this harassment and blame go, because what they were hoping for is some type of like a admission of guilt from one of the family members, right? It's wild. It was just his take, but hearing it from somebody in his spot going through the same situation, it blew my mind. It made me do research, and I couldn't agree more with him, right? Noel, I'm gonna pull up here in a second. I've just been rambling. If you wanted to come say something. But it's wild to me to watch some of these people. Again, I do not care what your opinion is on the Summer Wells case. It is about finding Summer Wells. A lot of the times me clowning these people, a lot of times me bashing these people is a lack of common sense. And it's wild to me to, I don't understand how so many people are not a free thinker, right? But here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm like a fucking psychic, right? Right? It's $59.99 for 10 minutes. I'm doing tarot card readings. Here's what will happen. Nothing. Nothing will happen, because in a few days there'll be none of this discussion. It will all stop, and it will be the same thing, because this is not the first time that Candace has gotten mad at Don and acted out on people and tried to plant seeds and stir the pot. You have to understand, what is she even saying? What is she really saying? You can't convince me that she said anything valuable. I'll take some comments here in a minute, but it's just wild, right? If you know this channel, I do like to bash these morons, because I like to use their own words, their own actions, and put it on Front Street, right? The problem with shitting on people close to you for no reason, because you're mad at your boyfriend, whatever, is you look silly. You look silly when you leave the house for someone using alcohol, and then you're on panel wasted. You look silly when you're in someone who scammed off your daughter's name and you're asking for Subutex. You look fucking silly. Like, make that make sense. You're mad, so you went and drank more. Like, come on, man. It's wild. It's wild. It's wild, but it will go away. And none of this has anything to do with Summer actually being anywhere located. This is all just dramatic bullshit. Dumb drama. That's all it is. There's no answers out of any of this. There's no answers. And this is exactly why the TBI has said, here, y'all take the fucking hotline. Y'all take it. I mean, it's about time they did. Which unfortunately sucks. And that's not good, because the TBI has way more resources than Hawkins County. Hawkins County is not big, y'all. It's very small. It's just wild to me that the games, and the games are only being played because people want attention. People want attention. And what's this attention doing? Like, all the attention that you get and seek because you're mad, is it amounting to anything? Does it have to do anything to do with Summer Wells, or does it all have to do with Candace Wells? It all has to do with Candace Wells. Is what it all has to do with. See, you can like push people away from you all you want. That's cool. The problem is the internet's not crazy. People who either agree or disagree with me have like years of actions and words to compare. Again, you just look retarded. And I just wanted to share my take on all this stuff. I probably let a little bit too much personal out tonight, and that's okay. You need to know the truth. Nobody will debunk it. Nobody will come forward and saying I'm lying. And I could have kept going. But this is all because there's a fight. Who cares? Comments. Noel. Hey, I'm out front, man, if you want to come out and give some input real fast. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to chat. Say it again, babe. I'm not understanding your comment. She says, my sons, you're here, Daisy is here, and Pam decides to lie, knowing all y'all are going to call her out. I don't really know what that... Oh, okay, here we go. I don't know. Noel would know more about these comments. Maybe I'll walk inside. It's just wild, though. It's wild to me. Daisy is somebody also who has had has supported at least Candace. It's just wild that I remember, like, I forget how long ago it was, but the idiot Pandrew was like, he would go live and go moo moo, like it was like so lame and dry. Like, his channel is so like dried out. It's so dead. I think he made a live because I said his name regarding Candace. Like, I know you desperately want me to address you, but the fact of the matter is nobody watches you. Anybody who truly cares about Candace has tuned you out. You scammed, dude. You scammed with your son on your own, on a death, bro. Like, that is like scumbag level. Like, I have nothing for you, bro. Like, it's comical. The last time I did a video about that guy, you went live and you were about to cry on the parody I made. Like, you were about to cry. I don't care. I could care, like, I don't care about that. But my point, but I should say that. That'll be number 3. But with Daisy, like, what I do care about is, like, Daisy's been supportive. Like, you don't think Daisy won't say this, so I'll say it for her. You don't think, like, when all those lives in that period of time where he's going meh, meh, all that stupid shit, you don't think like that's a spit in the face to Daisy? It is. It is. I mean, but I can't talk for Daisy, man. Shout out to Daisy. I got no problem with Daisy. I've always been okay with her. But what I wanted to tell y'all is, this is Don and Candace getting into an argument, and Candace trying to stir the pot and be spiteful in other people's chats, but for what? For attention? But what are we really talking about? Where is Summer Wells in any of this? Where? This is just like, this is nothing. Like, this is just like, I don't get it. Pushing people away that are good to you. I'm not going to come on here, cry victim. I don't have to do that. I could share some things that y'all might not know behind the scenes, but it's only going to make other people look more retarded because they've seen and they've witnessed. Even my haters know I'm not on here lying. They can hate this channel but they know I'm not on here lying. So it's just like, what do we do with this? And it's just wild to me, man. But for what? All this for what? This is all like, this is what you call very messy. This is very messy. Like, this is very messy. And there's a lot of people who do have common sense that are not retarded, that have been paying attention for a long time. They do see the messiness. They can think for themselves. And those people, what do you, like, how do you look to those people? I'm not on here to convince anybody that so-and-so is guilty or innocent. I'm on here because if anybody truly knows, I was not friendly with the Wells in the beginning of this thing, right? Nor Tim Mullins, but I apologized to Tim Mullins, and I honestly felt sorry for some of the defamation almost that I was doing towards him. I apologized. He accepted my apology, and through that, I spoke with Don. I've become friends with Don. And I will tell you that, and I've said this in the past, I don't know how healthy or good it is for anybody as a creator to become friends with parents with missing children. I don't know how real good that is. And I can only keep it real. It's not that I'm regretting anything, but I just don't know, you know, there's certain lines maybe people shouldn't cross. Look, life is about real. It's not that I'm regretting anything. Turn your Bluetooth off. Turn your Bluetooth off. Turn your Bluetooth off. You're on my car.
Oh. It's on my car.
But yeah, so I'm just keeping it real. I don't know. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But I just think people should think for themselves. It's comical, like, with everything I just said, everything. And look, everything meaning the TBI giving the tip line to Hawkins County, that is in my opinion. But everything else that I'm saying, right? Like, it's not hard to know where Candace is. To watch people, like, it's comical to, like, I'm watching and these people are like, well, where's Candace? Where's Candace at? Like, there's only one spot she's at. Dirt. Like, and who gives a shit where she's at? Like, it's what does that have to do with findings? It's comical as fuck. But what does one have to do to get to do? It's wild to me to watch people continue. And I said I would not bash creators, and I'm not trying to do that. But man, some of the shit is just like, it's laughable to an extent, because nothing's funny about a missing girl. None of this has anything to do with the missing girl. None of this is going to bring an answer out to the missing girl. None of it. It's all going to go away in a couple days. Promise you that. How about, I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to do it. I wanted to call you out here to I spoke about you without you being present, and if you wanted to add anything or comment on anything I said, my love, you have the floor.
I don't know what you said before I got out here because I turned the volume down.
So I was expanding on like the Jody situation,
right?
And how you were recently blocked, and I expanded a little bit on Connie, and I was helping with Connie's situation and all that, but I didn't get into full details. I was just trying to tell people like Candace gets into it with Don, her behavior cycle, what she does, and this time it's triggered over and rolled over to us, as we haven't seen this in the past, as if we haven't talked to other people who were close to her in the past. This is not the first time this has happened, but when she gets mad, she like stirs the pot over here, pushes people out. This time she's chosen us, and it's the same as like when you hear me like review a tragedy pimp. When they bring me into their shenanigans, I know you've heard me in the past say, I'm so glad that they involved me in it. It's almost the same, but did you want to expand or say anything on those two things?
Well, I did.
Sorry, comments. We'll get to it now.
Matt and I have been talking about adopting for as long as we've been together, pretty much. Anyone that knows me knows I can't have kids, so we always talked about it, but we never actually did anything. He would prefer to stay in Tennessee, so I was, I'm not relocating. I don't live in Tennessee, so I was unable to. But if he would have been, willing to relocate out of state, then I definitely would have been able to move forward with the process.
She didn't say nothing valuable, but she gave them enough content to tear her words apart, twist them, turn them upside down, analyze them, and come to another conclusion for creating comment. Kim, I gotta put you on team common sense. I hope you didn't exit left on anything I said, but I know you didn't exit left. What's up, Skunky? Pam has always... What was that comment you were saying about these people?
Oh, she was saying that Daisy had allowed people on panel to attack or trash talk shit about me. And it's just funny. Daisy, it's like Beetlejuice. She miraculously just popped up. And she's like, that's a lie. As I'm sitting here like...
Oh, Daisy straightened it?
Oh, well, it wasn't just her. Like, the two other people that...
Daisy hasn't said... Daisy has never done that.
Two other people that this Pam O'Connor said were talking shit about me were also in chat.
People are going to take...
People in the chat that was talking with me were like, that's bullshit, blah, blah, blah. I already had blocked Pam in a previous live of hers because she's a PG person, so she was already, like, on the way
Prayer
out.
Garden is such a joke. Nobody takes her serious, and that's my number 3. Prayer Garden, I will say this. Ziggy, I don't really agree. I think Ziggy is a complete moron on every level, scammer as well. But I will say this though. Ziggy does know how to dox people. And recently she's doxed Prayer Garden, if you guys didn't know this. And she came to the conclusion that through her own research, and she shows her whole docs on her page. If you haven't seen it, I think I've never said this on my live before. Go check it out. But she comes to the same conclusion of who Prayer Garden is that we did over here years ago, and it absolutely is Prayer Garden. But the way that she did it, and her way of tracking the internet and who PG is, was a total different way than how I did it. And she shows it, and gotta give credit where credit's due. Prayer Garden is a very, very ugly woman now that we have a face. She's fucking horrendous. I can't take her serious. And let's be honest, she wanted to suck Don off in the beginning of this. She wanted to suck the man off. And she's just a bitter old lady who's lonely. And she's just... If Don called her tomorrow and was like, look, you can suck it, do you think she wouldn't come around? Stop it. Just stop it. But yeah, people are going to take this... People will take this situation and try to come in between Daisy and all that. That's what they're going to feed on and stuff. But these are people who lack common sense. These are people who believe These ridiculous. I'm not even like mad at Candace, just so everybody understands. Is she acting out? Yes. Can we recognize it? Yes. Did she block Noel? Yes. Is it fucked up knowing some of the couple things, a few things that you know that we've done for them? Not even all of it? Yes. Am I mad at her? No.
I'm just going to say this instead of texting it or chatting it.
Please.
Because it's just a lot. Fuck. So there was, I didn't grab the link last night because I wasn't dressed, and I know everyone's going to be like, oh, you can go on panel without a camera on. If you know me, you know that I don't do that. It's not personal. You can't see me. You can judge somebody
Thank you, Chai.
and what they're saying and read them with their camera on. For me, I just prefer to have my camera on. It's just, like I said, more personal. It's a more real conversation. So,
well, who are you talking about?
I didn't grab the link. Plus, 2 nights ago in Daisy.
Yeah, you got to be a little more clear there.
They know. They
Okay.
know who I'm talking about, what I mean.
Real fast, hold that thought. Chai, I appreciate your common sense. Chai says, I do remember Candace doing this when Don was locked up. Thank you. You're on team common sense. She did this a lot. And almost to this extent, I would say it was worse then than it is now. But Chai, because you left a comment, you've been paying attention as well to the Sebastian Rogers case. And here's what I want to remind people. Just so people know, just so people understand this, I specifically told Chris Proudfoot, this nightmare will all go away once a more popular kid goes missing. It's a fucked up thing to say to him, but he got it. He got it. And it happened because guess what? Everybody stopped Sebastian and went to Nova Scotia, right? Lily and Jack, right? But if you remember this time period on YouTube, there's nothing on Summer Wells. I say Summer Wells, and I hate to say that. The fact of the matter is there's no information on Summer Wells. What I meant to say is, in this time period, there's no lives from all these idiots on her parents because they're not on YouTube giving content. And I've said this, anybody that knows my channel knows this. Don has finally figured out coming on here does nothing good for him. You're not going to catch him on panel, right? Never. I remember saying that to people because I remember hitting it home to him, having the conversation, and people were like, yeah, right. And I was reporting it, this and that, and then it stopped, right? Candace is not ever in the chats like that. You might catch her on mine, Daisy's, until she gets mad at Don, then she's everywhere, right? But in this time period, the Summer Wells misinfo campaign dwindled down to nothing. Meaning the people who have scammed her, right? And there's so many of them, there's nothing to talk about, right? Because there's nothing going on in the Summer Wells case, but there's no drama with the parents, so there's nothing to talk about. Go back about 6 months ago and look for some lives. Good luck finding them. You have Prayer Garden, she goes live every night about the case, right? Because she's putting out some truth. But it should show you something, right? For team common sense. Go ahead, babe. My bad.
Look, see, she's like 10 steps ahead of me, Daisy. All right, anyway. So, as I was saying, the only reason I didn't jump on the chat or the panel is because, like I said, I was not dressed. I almost got to the point where I was ready to, so I could come on and turn the camera on, because I think it was a little tense at times or frustrating because there was confusion, because now there's apparently two of me in the YouTube world, two Noels, which none of us, well, I didn't realize, for one. And for two, we were saying things and answering things before getting the answer, and then misunderstanding what was being said because, I'm chatting and just saying things to the chat, but then also answering the panel. So it took a little bit of patience and understanding to figure out what the hell was going on. Like I was just saying, everyone's like, oh, you know, she's letting Diamonds say this and that, and whoever else talk crap about me. You know what? Just to say, like, to settle the bullshit, who cares for one? Because I don't fucking care, honestly. I don't believe that Daisy would allow it, but if she did, you know what? If the live is still up, I could go back and watch it. And Daisy actually said that before I even said it in the chat. Which right there squashes that, because she just said Noel can go see it for herself. There's the proof, the answer's right there. If I wanted to go back and watch it, I could. But, so I do apologize for any frustration, Daisy, or anything that was confusing. I should have just gone and gotten dressed and come on panels, and I just didn't. It was a really rough night for me. I was really upset about everything that had happened. And like I said in the chat earlier, tonight, Candace and I did speak on the phone. We did get through it. You know, it's whatever, it happened. Do I love it? No. Am I happy about it? No. Does it hurt? Yeah, it does hurt, because I did nothing. I had no idea what was going on. And I'm just really upset, because, you know, even like, you know, I would never do that to her. I would have talked to her, and she should have with me as well. And she, you know, was acting in the moment, whatever, that's fine. It's whatever, you know, we got past it. She would have been hurt if it was on the, you know, the shoes on the foot. And she said, you know, she should have talked to me, whatever. I don't hate her. I'm not mad at her. I forgive her, you know. I'm not gonna hate her for what? What am I gonna hate her for?
Okay, real fast. So,
but I'm hurt.
Someone says, "Serious, what made you think they'd treat different than any others?" So,
what does that even mean?
What did really Candace do? I mean,
she didn't.
She's
really do a whole lot of anything.
She's acting out on Don, and what she's just so you understand. I mean, this is, you have to exit left. This is common sense, and anybody watching this, she's acting out on Don. Did she make a live up about fuck white boy, fuck Noel? No, she didn't do that. Did she crawl to a part of the internet where she knows that Noel doesn't watch, and I could like, I'm not lying to you when I say I'm never gonna watch an Ernie Shell live nor a Pandrew live. If anybody wants to FOIA my fucking YouTube history, go for it. I'll give you $1 million if you can see me clicking on any of their videos. People send me the shit all the time. Am I gonna watch it if Ernie Shell's running down the highway saying that Bigfoot's after him? Fuck yeah. Am I gonna watch it if the dude's saying summer sausages and scamming the? Fuck yeah. But any other time than that, yeah, I'm good. Those people are completely boring. They're lame, for one. I mean, I don't take those people serious at anything that come. Like, come on, man. But what is she really doing? What? This is not like you're trying to conflict it and compare it to something that happened in the past to some other creator. I can't compare myself to them, right? There's things that I could tell you, right? And maybe I should have, right? Candace has more pictures of Summer Wells than you could even think of. When I was there, she has massive amounts of photo albums. I'm like, Candace, why? I remember asking her, I'm like, let me have this picture. Why aren't these on the internet? She didn't want to give them to people because of people like Prayer Garden editing. That she didn't want to give them because people would just use them to make videos of them and all this. And I get all that. I've also been on the side where I know where TBI got a lot of the photos that they used for Don on that AI, the first AI projected photo. So there's things I know. This is just Candace mad at Don, right? She's not in Ernie Shell's chat to have a beef with me or Noel. You're lacking common sense. She's in there to get Don mad, right? And it takes Ernie to bring me up, right? So I'm not mad. I understand. That's what Candace does. This is not the first time that we've seen the behavior, right? But what is she saying, though? Back to that chat. What is she saying? Is it anything of value to help the case? No. I'm not mad at her, but it makes me look at her a little different. It makes it's listen, man, I've got to keep it real. I don't have. Listen, man, it's common sense, man. To people that I know in real life, right? That I give a dap to when I see them. If the situation pertained to them, would they do that? No. This is why I don't watch those losers, right?
So I do want to say something else.
Go. It's just like, it's wild.
People are getting a little confused with the extra Noel on YouTube, and this is not a bad thing towards her whatsoever. Don't know her whatsoever, but I'm not even gonna lie to you. Someone today texted me last night, called me, and I had no clue that they were calling because I was sleeping. Said that somebody was live trashing the shit out of me on their live. He was calling me all kinds of whatever. So this morning I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of the bullshit, and just sent a text, and I was a little snippy, not even gonna lie. He was so confused, and so we called and we were talking, and it was apparent it wasn't me, it was the other Noel. So I do understand if people are getting confused, if people are saying things about a Noel. I get it. Like, I didn't know there was two of us, and I did get annoyed because I misunderstood and forgot about another Noel. But maybe we should just take a step back if we hear people saying something about a Noel and just clarify, like, who are you talking about? Like, are you talking about damaged goods? It might make things a little bit easier for everyone and less tense, because we shouldn't be fighting with each other over misunderstanding, and that's really what it's about. Just
there's some retard. There's some retard Noel that is retarded, and there's a confusion. It's retarded. And look, back to the retarded word. I grew up in the 80s. If that offends you, exit left. If you watch YouTube and you say the word unalived, get the fuck out of my chat.
Ha! I've been saying that forever.
Does not. Do you know what that means? Unalived is a monetization word. It does not. It's not a replacement for killed or murdered or dead. No, it's the history of unalived came from Tim Pool, Mr. Beast, because to say killed, dead and murdered on alive at one point would make your stream yellow. They've done videos about this. You got to do the work. You got to do the homework, because if you're saying he says the R word, you sound retarded. If you use unalived, that's a monetization word. So you as a commenter are saying unalived to help a creator who is using unalived get their commercials in their video. That's all that is. And to make the matter worse, that whole unalived monetization phase is been done on YouTube. You can now say murdered, killed, or dead, and it won't affect your video. So stop saying unalived if you don't know what it means. Be who you are on the internet, right? Be the same person you are on off the internet that you are on the internet. Stop. If you don't go to the store, right? You don't go to the store and say, "Did you hear about that one girl who's unalived?" If somebody said that to me in real life, I would say, "What type of retard are you?" Could you please rephrase the question? Because normal people don't say that. That's internet talk. And stop conflicting the two, man. Be who you are on and off this thing, and be proud about that. Stop this this nonsense that you see on social media. It is wild to me, man. Because if you subscribe to this channel, I promise that I will give you the blunt, real me all the time, and be unapologetic as fuck about it. And that's just what I'm gonna be forever. And please be the same to me, man. That's all I ask. But we're getting off topic, and I just wanted to say my piece on this stuff. It is wild to watch this in real time. It is wild to watch people who are known scammers get on these lives and stuff and try to do what they've always done. Like they're going to juice a confession, or this is like the dumbest thing in the world. Here's White Boy plus 7 days from now, plus 14 days from now. This is all gonna die down, right? Nothing will come out of it because there's no substance in it to begin with. I'm not gonna come on here, like, it's the perfect time for me, right? To expose Candace, to expose the Wells, right? And how many times have you seen that in the past from a creator who knows them? Could I come on here and share secrets and share? Sure, I could. Will I do that? For what? Because Candace was in a corner of the internet that she didn't think that we were watching, or had people watching, or that shared our screenshots and talking shit. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. In reality, it's a little bit hurtful it's a little bit hurtful, but it not on my end. I don't look silly. I don't look retarded. Other people do. So I'm cool with it. But to block, how do you call Noel when I'm live, apologize, blame somebody who didn't have anything to do with it, and then block her? Noel doesn't look retarded. I don't look retarded. The internet knows. They've been watching. There's only... You gotta use common sense, y'all. But, damn it, man, I feel like a dick. Hold on a second. Shauna, 16 months. Member, I'm sorry for not reading your comments. I apologize to everybody for not reading your comments. Really, man, I was just venting and talking, and then Noel came in and made it, like, more hard to keep up with the comments. But I just can't sit back and watch people lie, right? It's wild, man. And I have to call it out. But just have common sense. You can have your own thoughts and opinions about however you feel. I don't care how you feel about a case or a set of parents, right? It's never going to be my intention to try to make you think one way. I'm just up here using common sense, right? And debunking stupid things, right? There's a lot of shitty people who got close to the Wells, right? So maybe instead of me doing the same thing that many have before, maybe I take a different angle at it, right? A different angle at it. And let me rephrase that. I'm okay with Don all the way. I just talked to him earlier, right? This is all silly and stupid, and nothing is going to come of this. At the end of the day, there's nothing new from Summer coming out of this. People will use it for content, but it's completely useless and stupid. Nothing will come out of this. Zero answers. And it will all go away, but hopefully it doesn't happen again in the future, because we can only look at people's behaviors and patterns. And all I can say is I've seen this movie before. I've seen all this happen before. I'm just somehow directly involved in this number 2 movie.
Seen this movie, it's just different actors.
Somehow we're involved in the sequel. Somehow we're in the... There's so many people desperately wanting me to be like, well, this is what Candace told us 2 years ago. How many times have you seen that? Can I do that? Sure. But what is that going to do? It's wild. And if that's why you're watching this, then you've lost the whole thing for somewhere to be found. And that's what it is all about. Not this dumb relationship issue. All right, I'm out of here, man.
1 second.
See, I listen to my wife. Will I only know the truth, what I see and hear with my own eyes and ears? And what would that be? What is the truth?
Sorry, I just wanted to.
What is the truth?
Who said
And
that?
what truth do you have? What's up, Debbie? White Boy and
I
Noel. We
only know
truly
my
respect for
truth.
you. I don't know what's being said, but it's not
Oh,
true.
I understand that.
Okay, my bad then. Diamond says, my sons, I know. Okay, guys, I'm so behind in the comments. I apologize, and that's my fault. Y'all deserve more respect than that. So I'm not even gonna try to come in and try to answer it when I'm this much behind. But listen, man, use common sense. That's all I'm telling you. One thing you can count on is White Boy is always gonna keep it real, right? And that's all I'm doing here, man. Use common sense, right? If people lack that, then I don't have a message for people, right? I don't know what to tell people other than
We shouldn't
what
be
I
looking
tried
for
to.
reasons to fight with each other and cause more aggravation and drama. We're all basically on the same side with a lot of. We don't have to agree on everything that everyone says at all times, but that doesn't mean that we have to be at war and just hate each other. There's just no need for more hatred in this world. I mean, you guys, I can't. It's too much. I'm maybe just getting really emotional in my old age. I don't know.
Always
But
follow
we need
the
to keep it real.
Always follow the money. The originals are coming back together for a big reason, just saying.
Yes, we can all agree to just pray for Candace, Don, and the kids.
Team common sense. Yep. It is what it is.
Well, shit, Diamonds, there's a lot of people that love you in here, huh?
I'm not mad at nobody. I want peace. And I wish everybody just what I want is common sense, man. Let's find Summer Wells, man. More information, credible tips. That is the main focus. R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. Hashtag free speech, babe. Any last words?
No, but I do want to speak about Charlie's kids one day and his family, but not tonight, another live.
All right, guys, I'm out of here, man. That's my take on it. Y'all be good, safe, and drink some water, pray, and be good to each other.
Love y'all. Be safe.
And touch grass.